Hey, welcome to today's flow. I'm Shar, and this practice is dedicated towards emotional balance, grounding yourself in a relaxing space, and calming those intense waves that rise, also known as mood swings. So, grab your blankets, grab some bolsters so we can get in some really good restorative poses. I got you on this one. Let's get started. So let's get comfortable on our mat, coming into an easy seated position, and we're going to transition. But first, I just wanted to do some alternate nostril breathing to help us start to relax that body and get in connection, mind, body, and spirit. And if you haven't done this before, get into a comfortable position that feels good to you. If you need to put a blanket underneath your body so you can sit up a little bit straighter, do that as well. Take a few natural cycles of breath. Come into the present moment. Truly, welcome to your practice. And how we're going to do this is taking your right hand. We're going to be using this ring finger as well as this thumb. This right ring finger, place it on the left nostril. Inhale in. Breathing in that air through the right nostril. Exhale, plug the right nostril. Exhaling out through that left nostril. So switching it, using your ring finger to plug that left nostril and inhale in through the right nostril. And at the top of your inhale, switching that thumb, plug the right nostril and exhale through that left nostril. Let's play with this for a few breaths, noting how you feel. No dizziness or anything should be coming up. So if you feel that, follow us with a natural cycle of breath. Inhaling in through that right nostril. Now plug it, exhale through the left. And switch. Inhale in. Top of the inhale, switch. Breathe out through that left nostril. Perfect. Switch. A few more like this. Perfect. Shake the hands out, rotate the wrist if you want to, twinkle the fingers. And let's come back to that natural cycle of breath. Starting the practice with the breath is going to be the best thing before flowing and moving your body, especially if you are intentional about that mindful movement. For the most part, our society wants us to go, 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 and disregards our feelings, our breath, our circumstances. So reconnecting with your breath is a liberating act for sure, because it helps calm the body down by putting it in a safe space, which is in connection, mind, body, and soul. And really, that's what you're tuned in for. So we're, of course, going to start with that breath. So grabbing your bolsters, your pillows, and your blanket, let's get comfortable and come into a reclined bound angle pose. And take your time finding the perfect angling to put these pillows. So one directly underneath your hips, one for your back and your lower back and your upper back, and then the other for your head. When you get there, bring the bottoms of the feet together. Grab your blanket. This one is my favorite one. Let's get comfortable. Let's lean back. Take your time here to exhale, let it go. Adjust yourself as needed. Pull that blanket up. Don't fall asleep quite yet. And while we're here in this beautiful reclined bound angle pose, let's start by setting our intention. This emotional balance that we seek that can kind of go haywire sometimes with our hormones, with stress, things coming into our life that we can't control. Let's have that balance here with ourselves to cultivate that peace. And that's something that I always bring up on my videos, is cultivating that peace while we can, so we have that reserve to pull back on when times get hard. And of course they will. And sometimes these things are out of our control, especially things that are happening to our body as we transition from one age to the next, one era to the next. Our hormones change with it. And this pose really helps restore that balance. And for further support, if you have blocks, you can place them underneath your left and right knee. And if you don't have any blocks, folding up a blanket or adding some pillows under there just to protect your knees and kind of provide support for those hips, it really works wonders. Take a deep breath in, fill the belly with air, place your hands on your abdomen. Send some love to that womb. Exhale, blow it out. Release it. Whatever stress you were feeling before you clicked on this video, let it go into the bolsters or the pillows, into the mat, and even deeper, send it into the earth. Let your mind come back to that breath, the foundation of life. Feel your shoulders start to sink deeper into the pillows. Your breath gentle and soft as you guide the inhale in through your nostrils. Expand into the belly. Exhale through the lips. Softly breathe it out. And we'll stay here for a few moments. This is a safe space to explore and to really feel. And sometimes it's really, really nice to have a journal and pen or pencil next to you. So anything that does come up when you get into these emotionally opening asanas, these yoga poses, chef's kiss, I'm telling you. It's beautiful to have that journal and be able to reflect before and after your yoga practice and see how you feel. Go ahead, take one more deep breath in. Exhale, use your hands to close the legs. Extend the left leg, extend the right leg, push up on those elbows. Just to remove a bolster, and you can place it, that rolled up blanket, whatever you have. I'm calling it a bolster just because, but same thing, pillow or blanket. Put it underneath your knees. Let's move our other pillow so we have one underneath our head, one directly underneath our knees. Grab that blanket, put it over you. We're just using these first few moments of practice to really, really tap in. Tap into that relaxation, that feel goodness, everything that it is, and soak that up. Bringing that intention of how we want to feel. Not just happy or less sad or less depressed, things like that, but how do we want to feel when we wake up? The weight lifted off of our chest, the things that we let get to us every single day, or when things don't feel right, the irritability, the mood, the emotional imbalance. How do we want to feel? We can't control each and every one of those things because these things happen externally to us as well as internally, but we can start to tap into that relaxation. How we want to feel that from the soles of our feet to the crown of our head. So bring that up to the forefront of your mind. Let's set that as our intention if you don't have one already. And stay here in this pose for 2 minutes. Guide the breath into the body, expand. Exhale, feel the body start to shrink. And once again, push up on the elbows, starting to rise. This time we're going to fold our blanket. Put our bolsters away just for now. We're going to use them later, so don't put them away too far. And come back down, resting on our back. Once you get there, bring that right knee to the chest, followed by the left knee into a wind release. Give yourself a big hug. Especially if you haven't given yourself a hug today, you need some of that self-love, and it starts right here. Rock left and right on that spine if you want to. It's just an invitation. It's not a requirement. Point the toes. Pick the toes up almost as if you're going to touch your shins. Space out the toes. Point them and pick them up. And place your hands on your knees. Guide them over to the left. Perfect. Knees still bent. Open up the arms to a T. Another option is cactus arms. And you can keep your gaze over the left shoulder or guide the gaze over past the right shoulder, and you'll feel that stretch in that lower back once you do. Your choice. You also place that left hand on top of that right knee, and if you need to, you can place a bolster or a block underneath your knees just to give you some extra space and accessibility to get into this pose. And if these poses also still feel a little bit tight, every day is a little bit different, go ahead and stay in that wind release that we were in earlier. Few breaths like this. Let those sighs come out however they want to. This is your practice. You embody it however you see fit, and that's just as good. Return to the center of the mat. Left knee comes to chest, right knee comes to chest. Wrap yourself up in a hug. Point the toes or pick them up, your choice. Place the hands over on the knees, guide the legs over, knees still bent to the right. Grab that bolster or that block, place it underneath your knees, and open up the arms to a T or cactus arms. A huge reason why I started doing yoga was to help with balancing all the things that came at me and having something in my, I guess you can say, armory to kind of combat the external stressors and even the internal stressors like anxiety, the chemotherapy that I was in kind of affecting me and giving me depression because, of course. But yoga transformed even beyond that. Just having a community and a space, a safe space to do this in, to practice and to really explore my mind, explore my body together, it really transformed my mindset. And so it makes me so happy to be able to cultivate that same safe space for other people. So if you're here seeking this emotional balance, this hormonal balance, then I'm here. Even if you just want to leave something in the comments, or even if you just want to reach out privately, I'm here to talk about these things. And I know how valuable it was to have someone to reach out to when I was going through a lot of stress a few years ago. So just know that this place is always a safe space, an accessible space, because I am available to talk to. Go ahead, return to center, knees to chest. Wrap the arms around. This time lift the head almost as if you're going to kiss the knees. Maybe you do. Rock back and forth on that spine. And this time, we're going to place our hands underneath the thighs and start to rock up and down until we come back into a seated position. Or you could just meet me in a seated position, whatever feels comfortable. Stretch out the legs, length of the mat, coming into a straddled leg position. So legs are wide as they can get. Adjust your hips, take a sip of water. And I'm going to grab my block and place them one underneath the chest and the other underneath the chin. And you can also come down to your fingertips and keep your gaze down if you don't want to go any further. Deep breath in, exhale, walk the body out, coming into a wide leg forward fold. Once you get there, you can rest your head on the block or use those fingertips to guide you to where it feels comfortable. This is all about you. Once you get there, breathe. Guide that breath in. Let it go to where it needs to be. Bring your legs in a little bit closer if you need to. Inhale, look up. Walk the fingertips back to your seated upright. Plant the feet on the ground. Just windshield wipe the legs. Counteracting that pose that we just took because sometimes it gets a little bit challenging. Move the blocks. Let's lay all the way down on our back. Knees still bent, feet on the mat. And you can place a blanket underneath your hips. But we're going to take a few bridge poses. So palms flat and touching the mat. Let the fingertips touch the heels of the feet as the knees are bent. Deep breath in. Pull that pelvic floor in. Exhale, start to lift the hips. Squeeze the glutes. Use those quads as well to reach up to the ceiling. Bridge pose. Exhale, release. And I said exhale, I meant to inhale as you lift. Breathe in here. And exhale. Inhale, press the spine on the mat. Start to lift the pelvic floor. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips. Reaching towards the ceiling. Feet planted on the mat. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, release. And again, inhale, press the spine down. Start to lift the pelvic floor. Lift the hips, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, release. Fingertips find themselves touching the heels again and again. Press the spine. Take a deep breath in. Start to lift the hips, squeeze the glutes. Bring the pelvic floor up. Find your balance. Find your stability. You got this. Go a little bit higher. You got this. Exhale, slowly release. Letting the hips come down. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and take a rolled up blanket or that bolster that you had, place it underneath the sacrum, which is right underneath your hips. Lift that right leg up, the foot almost as if it's going to stamp the wall or the ceiling, followed by the left leg. Your hands can come wherever they want to go to provide stability. Just make sure those palms are on the earth. And if you are in a position to place your legs up the wall, this pose is alternatively called legs up the wall, then by all means do so. And we're just going to let that blood flow all the way back to the body. Taking an opposite pose than what we normally do, which is seating upright. And while you're here, bring that intention to the forefront of your mind again. That feeling that you wish to cultivate. And let's play with the thought that what you want also wants you back. And what you want may already be living inside of you. It's just been shrouded with doubt. It's been shrouded with possibly trauma. It's been shrouded with emotions that haven't ever been properly resolved. Things that surface that we may not want to deal with. And we don't have to think on those things at the moment right now. But how you do want to feel and what you wish for, what if that was already inside of you? Bend the knees on your exhale. Plant the feet onto the mat. Push through the feet and lift the hips a little bit just to guide that blanket or bolster from underneath you. Once your hips come back to the earth, windshield wipe the legs again. And push yourself up. This time we're grabbing all the things that we did to get into that reclined bound angle so we can get into it again. This practice is extremely restorative, so we're going to be staying in these poses for lots of times and repeating some of these poses just to get that extra feel-good feeling. Especially on days like today, where we need it, that extra support. This time, if you have the pillows or the blocks to place underneath your knees, as we go back into our reclined bound angle, get into that position, adjust yourself. You can pause this video if you need to. No rush. We are in no rush today. Once you get into that position, grab your blanket, drape it over you. Exhale, release it down. Get comfortable. Sigh it out. And you can place your hands on your abdomen, just as a reminder for your mind to keep your focus on that breath. And while we're here, let's just meditate on that thought that I asked earlier. What if what we wished for was inside of us already? But it was sometimes society's programming or our emotional distress, our environment that may have blocked that truth out. But it's still there. That's why we're here. So what if what we wanted was already inside of us? Explore that for a few moments and I'll cue you when it's time. Come back to your conscious body. Bring that breath with it. Exhale, use the hands to close the legs. Extend that left leg, extend that right leg. Push up on the elbows till you rise. Remove the pillows from the mat. Check in with how you feel, which I hope is really good, because I know I'm starting to feel a little bit better, which is wonderful. We're going to extend our legs the length of the mat, and feel free to take that blanket and place it underneath your knees as well, or bend into your knees as much as you need to. Adjust the hips. Inhale, reach the arms up, space between each fingers. Exhale, forward fold. Let the shoulder blades spread across the back. Let that lower back start to open up. Drop the head, drop the gaze. Breathe into this pose. Check in with how you feel. Let yourself know that you're going to be okay. Let yourself know that you are worthy of checking in with your emotions. You are worthy of having practices that restore balance in your body and in your mind. You are worthy of these things. And the more you explore these practices, this mindfulness, the easier it becomes. Inhale, slowly start to rise up. As you do, bring both of the knees, bend them over to the left side, almost as if you're in a mermaid position. Inhale, sweep the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, lean or twist over to the left. That right hand grabs onto that left calf and your gaze follows past that left shoulder. Exhale, sigh it out. Twist here. Feels so nice to stretch and breathe and just do these practices. And sometimes we forget because we're so busy following that negative thought all the way to hell that we have these things to negate those terrible thoughts. Inhale, twist up to the center, fingertips touch. Exhale, twist over to the right. That left hand should be on the right knee. Follow that gaze past that right shoulder. But the good news is that you have support where you look for it. Up through the center, reach the arms up, fingertips touch. You're doing great. Exhale, over to the left. Gaze back. Start to bring in that relaxation with every inhale. And let go of the rest. Let go of that weight that you feel by carrying all these things with every exhale. Inhale, reach back up through to the center. Last time, exhale over to the right. Really twist here. A little challenge. Inhale, sweep the arms back up. Exhale, rotate the wrist. I'm going to switch legs. Coming over to the right side. That right leg stacks on top of the left. Inhale. Once you get adjusted, reach the arms up over to the left. Inhale, come back up through to the center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale, center, reach the arms up, over to the left. Last time, inhale, reach the arms up to the center, over to the right. Big sigh out. Inhale, reach up to the center. Exhale, rotate the wrist. Bring the legs back into an easy seated position. Plant the hands. I'm going to turn over to this side so you can see me a little bit better. And you can grab a block if you need to. As we inhale, reach the arms up. Palms come together, bring them to the forehead. Once they touch, exhale, bend. Letting the hands come to the earth or the elbows as your hands rest on top of a block. Find your butterfly pose. And just like a butterfly, with its transformation from a caterpillar into a flying insect with many different colors and shades, we are also going through transformation. Love yourself as the caterpillar. Love yourself as the butterfly. Honor the process. Keep that gaze focused down on the earth, almost like you're tucking in the chin to chest. Almost, but not quite. So you can continue to open up that spine. Inhale, look up. Press the hands onto the mat. Walk the fingertips back into an easy seated position where we're going to seal our practice with a few breaths here. Hands come down to your knees, or they can rest the palms up to the ceiling. Your choice. Bring that intention back to the forefront of your mind. Slowly reach the arms up, space between each fingertip. Palms come together, bring them down to heart center, prayer pose. Go ahead and bow the head so we can seal our practice for today. Having that gratitude for exploring what feels good, a practice of wellness and well-being on this journey that we call life is all new to us. So perfectionism does not exist. There is no such thing. That wraps up today's flow, y'all. And remember, you can always come back to this practice if life feels a little, shall we say, dramatic. Thank you so much for supporting me, and please help my channel grow. Like, share, comment your favorite video if you have one here, and of course, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Take care and peace.